Hey guys, Tian here. Really interesting video for you guys. I know a lot of you will like it. Kind of multiple topics in one, so I'm not sure how best to describe it, but the best way to describe it is maybe importance of micronutrients, like I already did. Check out that video, why if it fits your macro dieting sucks. And then explaining why calories and macros are 0% of the equation for muscle gain and weight gain, yet also 100%. That is kind of, I would say that is kind of the main point to make here. And then on top of it, why basically to never follow a macro diet plan. Somebody gives you a macro diet plan and you see, okay, eat 300 grams of protein a day, 50 grams of protein a meal, whatever. Do not follow that. This person or whoever is giving you help or you know, whatever, or whatever you read online, has a very, very surface layer understanding of nutrition. So jumping right into that on that point, let's jump into the micronutrient part, why calories are literally 0% of the equation here. Calories are 0% of the equation here, but also 100% of the equation. And that is dependent on micronutrient status. So the whole reason or way micronutrients came to be discovered was with Japanese sailors. Japanese sailors were going away, they were coming back with muscle loss, muscle wasting, neurological symptoms, and even dying. Eventually they figured out that it was them eating a large majority of their calories and carbs as white rice. And then they also noticed this with prisons and chicken coops. They noticed certain prisons that were, they didn't realize it at first, but certain prisons and certain prisoners were wasting away, muscle loss, neurological symptoms, and then eventually dying. And then same with chickens. Some were yet they're all fed the same calories and macros, yet certain chickens were dying, wasting away. And other chicken coops were thriving, gaining weight fine, everything was going great. And you know, they eventually pinned it down to, oh wait, these chickens, and you know, they started doing experiments. Okay, these chickens on white rice, these chickens on brown rice, brown rice are gaining weight, thriving, and the same with the prisoners. And that's where they started doing in-depth experiments. And it was really, really interesting with the chicken study. So they're on a very balanced diet that, you know, studies in animals, the main thing they want is the best weight gain, right? Because that way you have more meat and then you get, you know, more profit, get more out of it. So the chickens on the studies that were fed brown rice were gaining weight fine, they were growing fine, thriving, all great. The chickens on the white rice were losing weight, okay? Literally losing muscle mass. And where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So the diets were extremely well balanced. It was something like, I'm going to semi-make up these numbers. It was something like 60% carbohydrates, 20% protein, 20% fat, something along there. Very balanced diet. So it wasn't a difference in calories and it wasn't a difference in macros. Macros and calories, exact same between both groups, white rice versus brown rice. And the only difference here is that the white rice, not void, but lacking severely, about 10 times less the micronutrient content as brown rice. And this is where vitamins came to be discovered. There must be something vital in the husk of the brown rice, something vital, vitamins. At that time, they thought it was one item and they called it just vitamin. Then they discovered one of the main components, one of the vitamins, thiamine. So then after they discovered it was multiple vitamins, they changed it to vitamins, right? Because there's, as we know, there's many different vitamins and minerals. So yeah, one of these main components that they discovered of it was thiamine, as I said. Then later on, they later on discovered that for every single gram of carbohydrate, later found out for every single gram of protein and fat that you eat as well, you require a very specific amount of thiamine, along with all the other nutrients, okay, guys? So this literally is showing us how, you know, calories are 100% of the equation if you're able to utilize those macros within the calories, okay? So just like the chicken studies and just like the observational data with the prisoners, you could go and eat 4,000 calories a day, but if you are lacking the very specific amount of each vitamin to utilize each macronutrient and each certain amount of calories, you will not utilize them. They will literally go to waste. And so a lot of people might think that, oh, hey, why are my calories need so much higher? And, you know, people be like, oh, you're just not eating enough. Or, you know, people want to blame themselves. Oh, my metabolism is too high. You might not be getting adequate amount of micronutrients compared to the next person to utilize that 4,000 calories that you are eating. So this is a big factor in somebody struggling to gain weight and thinking they have a high metabolism, or, you know, they just don't know what's going on. So this is why calories can matter literally 0% of the time if you're not utilizing those calories. The other snippet I want, and this goes for all micronutrients and minerals, etc. Just like I mentioned in my big video in why Fit Your Macros Dieting Sucks, and the article I have on my website under chan.com articles. If it fits your macro dieting, you guys will see it there. So yeah, your calories literally can matter absolutely zero. Now, this isn't the case for most people today. 100 equaling 100% of that equation. What I mean by that is that most people will be getting, let's say, a decent amount of thiamine and all the other nutrients, right? So, but they could be undershooting 50%, 75%, who knows? Or yourself, I mean. So if you're under eating 50% of your thiamine for your 4,000, 5,000, I don't know, whatever calories you might be eating, you could really only be needing 3,500 calories, 3,000 calories, if you were getting the adequate amount of the micronutrients to utilize those calories. So this is why tracking your micronutrient content matters so much, and not just following a macro plan. Then the other little sneaky bit here is that, so example, I'll use thiamine for the example, since that's some of the main topic here. 50 to 90% of thiamine is destroyed via cooking. That is dependent on temperature, your heat, and the duration that it's cooked at. So somebody that is eating a diet that is, you know, all cooked and or higher temperatures, longer periods of time, like let's say you're oven baking stuff, or even frying, right? Because that is a much higher temperature. You're destroying a lot of your thiamine. This is why this is another reason why I only have food-based diets, where I make the food selections versus just, you know, saying, hey, go eat 50 grams of protein meal, whatever. And all my other food choices thereafter, you know, everybody who's long-term follower of mine, you know, I suggest very specific food items. And you notice this is catching on a lot more. You'll see people talk about, you know, the Camel diet, my diet, and they'll have very specific food recommendations. So, you know, no matter what, nobody's going to be eating raw meat. And plus you get more calories out of cooked foods. But again, that doesn't matter if you don't have the micronutrients. But certain portions or amounts or the food choices I suggest, example, you'll see in all my diets always suggest raw seeds. Very great micronutrient packed foods, lots of B vitamins, minerals, etc. So raw seeds will be a decent portion of my diet, and specific vegetables. And when I suggest the vegetables, they will be raw most of the times. Yes, some people might have an issue with vegetables or raw vegetables in general, and that's figuring out your food intolerances. You know, maybe you have a silicate sensitivity, histamine intolerance, issue with oxalates, and so on and so on. But if you're otherwise generally healthy individual and can eat basically every single vegetables, a large portion of those vegetables should be raw, because that way you're not destroying the thiamine. Then for the cooked portions of the food, like the cooked meat and or cooked starches, you're able to utilize the vitamins from the vegetables and or the seeds to help utilize some of those other foods that you're eating cooked. And again, like I said, this was for all foods. There's studies on phosphorus and stuff like that, where people are eating the exact same macronutrients and the exact same calories, but the groups who are eating higher phosphorus content foods or added phosphorus, they were able to utilize more of the protein that they were eating. So let's say you're eating 300 grams of protein a day, but you're only utilizing 200 grams of it. You increase that phosphorus, you might utilize 250. This is another flaw to the protein studies, and why we see the protein studies vary so much. It'll be like, oh, this study saw a maximum amount of protein to be used was, you know, 1.1 gram per kg, and another study shows 1.2, etc. Is that when you let people eat a varied diet, you don't know how much phosphorus they're getting or how much of B1 or all the other micronutrients that are needed to utilize that protein. And again, this is well proven in studies. Exact same diets, exact same macros and calories, but higher phosphorus. Oh, I gain the group eating more phosphorus gain more muscle mass, and same with on a cutting diet, they preserve more muscle mass. So yeah, so not focusing on your micronutrients is going to lead you to possibly, you can maybe you eat great naturally. Most people don't. Most people are, you know, they're chicken and rice and whatnot. Can lead you to very, very subpar muscle gains, even though you're eating a lot of calories and you keep eating more calories. And then same with when you're cutting. When you're on a cutting diet, this can lead to you losing a lot more muscle mass than you could have if you had it. If you had ate better. Again, I go over this much more in depth in a lot of the different nutrients on my video and my article on why If It Fits Your Macro dieting sucks. But it's much more involved. People think of If It Fits Your Macro dieting like, hey, I'm going to eat 20% of my calories as my cake or my pizza or stuff like that. And that's not even what it's about. And because they'll think, oh, 80% of my diet is clean chicken and rice, I'm getting everything I need. That is a poor way to look at it. You want to be looking at it as you're getting the most micronutrient jam-packed selection of foods for all the foods that you're eating. You want to have a little bit of cake or pizza or whatever you're doing during your diet, sure, go ahead. You know, you can do whatever you want, obviously. But for a majority of your diet, if not all the diet, you should really be focusing on getting the utmost, I'm trying to think of the word here, or just picking your foods with the utmost micronutrient content, but also variety here matters too, right? Because look at beef, very high in iron. Lamb, very high in iron. Even though iron's not a major nutrient, especially for bodybuilders and males in general, that is lacking. But each food selection of every single meat, every single starch, every single vegetable is giving you a wide variety of micronutrients. And not like you need to be eating 50 different foods, but you don't want to be eating just chicken and rice all day. So yeah, I think that was basically it for this video. I was kind of going to go more in depth on some other topics, but then the video is just going to be too long. So I'm going to summarize that one up here. With the main focus of this video is make sure you're tracking your micronutrient content. And some people, if anybody goes, oh, I'll just take a multivitamin, check out my video on do not use multivitamins and synthetic vitamins. You'll see synthetic vitamins do not behave the same in the body. Tons of different of the minerals and the vitamins are linked to cancer risk. Like you'll see in my video, I linked the articles on multiple of the different B vitamins. And what's funny is that a diet high in those same B vitamins were shown to have anti-cancer association. Meanwhile, getting it from the synthetic vitamins increased cancer risk to huge degrees, not just, oh yeah, you're maybe slightly going to have a higher cancer risk. No. There's literally studies and case studies on men taking specific B vitamins and seeing their prostate grow, and getting rid of these vitamins, their prostate shrank back down and are basically causing cancer. So do not like synthetic vitamins or minerals. You guys will know, and you've seen some of my posts, I sometimes suggest certain ones, and certain ones are, let's say, safer than others. But in general, you should be getting all your micronutrients from your food. It's really important to track that. It's really important to use a proper app, like Chronometer is one of my favorite ones. It shows most of them. Yeah, so if you want the utmost best gains possible, focus on getting your micronutrients and focus on getting them from food. And realize that there was a really neat study on this too that showed every single athlete, they did sedentary people, athletes, and I forget another group, and even the athletes, they weren't even getting 50% of the RDA of most vitamins and minerals for at least 50% of their foods. And you know, an athlete is generally somebody who will look after their diet. You know, they want performance enhancing benefits of eating properly. So even if you are an athlete, bodybuilder, whatever, you're likely not getting adequate amount of the micronutrients required for muscle growth, performance, etc. So yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about for this video. Having a quick thought here. Did I forget anything? I'm going to do a few follow-up videos relating to some of the things I mentioned in there. Yeah, so careful what you eat, guys. Don't be filling your diet up with white rice. I've mentioned this before in other videos. When I do suggest plain white rice, I suggest getting a crap ton more vegetables and other foods to make up for it. If you really like white rice and you have an issue with eating brown rice or just don't like the taste, or just switch to all potato, brown rice, and other nutrient packed starch sources, buckwheat, quinoa, whatever. There's zero reason to have white rice unless you really like it, but you have to make up for the lack of nutrients. Remember, like I said, studies literally show observational data in humans, literally wasting away, losing weight, and then the studies in chickens, literally we're losing weight. And I've utilized this on my guys where I've had some guys that thought they need it and eating upwards of 200 grams of carbs worth a meal of white rice, okay? Went down all the way down to 60 to 80 grams of carbs from items like brown rice, potatoes, whatever, and their weight just started skyrocketing. So yeah, your micronutrient content matters, guys. Make sure you are eating whole foods. White rice is technically a processed food, okay? Like you've seen, I did all my videos before on this, why I don't like oils, why I'd rather eat the seeds and this and that. Every single, even the oils, talked about this in the past before too. Every single gram of PFA fat you eat depletes, utilizes a very specific amount of vitamin E. It's like 17 milligrams per gram or something like that. I can't remember anyways. Just do not eat any processed foods and you are basically good to go. Eat whole starches, eat the vegetables whole, everything, guys. Do not choose the seeds and whatnot. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel here, my Instagram. Thank you everybody who subscribes to my forums and follows me and shares my content. I always appreciate when you share my content, guys. That's what helps me a lot and the most. Sorry I was a little bit all over the place in this video. As you guys know, it's been a while since I did a video again, and when I'm not, haven't been doing them consistently, it's difficult to talk on camera. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care.